The Miriam Foundation, generously assisted by McKinsey & Company, has conducted a groundbreaking deep dive into ASD and intellectual disabilities from diagnosis to old age. This research helped us create a better strategy for the future, answering many questions that will help the Miriam Foundation as we move forward in contributing to better access and a better quality of service provided to these Quebec individuals and their families. Though the specific goals we will now present relate to the province of Quebec, we also hope to collaborate with stakeholders across Canada and beyond to help make a difference for as broad a population as possible. Our vision is of an integrated, seamless service continuum across the lifespan for individuals with ASDs and/or intellectual disabilities and their families. We hope to contribute to this vision by addressing each of the 5 transition points and 3 transversal needs as follows. From a diagnosis perspective, we would like to help move from the current state in which over 1,000 children in Quebec wait up to 3 years for a diagnosis, to a framework that will allow an evaluation to be performed within 3 months of referral, with an average age of diagnosis of no more than 2.5 years old. For entry into early childhood intervention services, we envision going from over 1,000 children waiting up to 2 years for early intervention that is often less intensive than what is required, to an average of 20 hours per week for certain children with an ASD and early childhood stimulation for other subgroups, all accessible in under 3 months of wait time. We want to see the situation change from having no specific programs in schools for ASD and mild intellectual disabilities, insufficient training and professional support, and a substantial wait list for some special schools, to evidence-based educational and vocational programs adapted for children with an ASD or mild intellectual disability that are taught by trained teachers and professionals, and shorter wait lists for those requiring entry into specialized schools. There are currently approximately 800 people in Quebec waiting up to 4 years for employment programs or daytime activities. Our vision is to see all individuals completing school enrolled in an employment program or a daytime activity program within 3 months of completing school. 1,400 individuals are now waiting in Quebec up to 11 years to access residential services. We envision the creation of 1,000 new places in affordable residential settings, with at least 70% of users of residences living in a natural environment with proper home support. Parent guidance is an important component of our plan for the future, as we already noted. Only half of the parents of individuals readily have access to service navigators, many of whom lack ASD or intellectual disability specific training, and many of whom lack time. Therefore, we envision that within 15 days of diagnosis confirmation, all parents should have access to a service navigator trained in ASD and intellectual disabilities, have useful documentation and proper support across all transition points from that point on. We noted earlier that only 8% of parents have ready access to specialized respite, and government subsidy is based on an average salary of $3.50 an hour. A variety of respite options adapted to each family's needs would be created, with access for all subgroups to a minimum of 12 overnight weekend respites per year, inside or outside the home, and access to emergency respite within 24 hours. Despite greater medical needs, as we have explained, very few physicians and dentists are trained and willing to treat adults with an ASD or intellectual disability. Moreover, families have no systematized way of finding the specialty resources that do exist. Our vision is to have access to dentists, primary care physicians, and specialists trained to treat people with an ASD or intellectual disability. Now that we have shared our vision for each transition point that will become increasingly specific as we engage in each one, we would also like to provide you with an overview of our roles in contributing to this vision. The Miriam Foundation's plan is to intervene across the continuum of care in order to have a lasting impact. For this, our role will be fourfold as follows. First, assess. As we have now done with this McKinsey study, we intend to continue to periodically outline important gaps in the system and track system-wide performance. This means understanding the most important issues in the continuum of care, defining measurable targets and identifying metrics for each transition point and transversal area, as well as monitoring and regularly and publicly communicating progress. The second component of our vision is to advocate and instigate change throughout the health and social services network. We intend to raise awareness at all levels of government and in the population through different campaigns, to develop strategies and convene important stakeholders, and to defend individuals' rights to services. As an example, one of our current national awareness efforts aimed at helping people with ASDs and intellectual disabilities lead fulfilling lives is our See Things My Way campaign. This is an innovative campaign with a novel concept, a pair of glasses, to portray how different individuals see the world in their own way. The campaign reflects the importance of empathy and individuality in treatment, support, care, awareness, advocacy, and mobilization of those with ASD and intellectual disabilities. Please visit seethingsmyway.org to learn more about our efforts and see how you can collaborate with us to create stronger awareness of the growing needs of families affected by ASD and intellectual disabilities. In our vision, we also aim to support our partners in order to enhance their service offerings. This means funding strategic and high-impact partner projects, following up on the impact of the initiatives through research, contributing to the development of tailored training to professionals, and facilitating knowledge transfer. Finally, our fourth role is to build high-impact and innovative pilot initiatives that include direct services to individuals and their families. Some of the output examples include the creation of diagnostic centers to help clear current wait lists, building capacity for early behavioral intervention services, and a new approach to residential homes for people affected by ASD or intellectual disabilities that we hope will catalyze more broad-scale innovation in these areas. In the immediate future, we will be focusing on increasing diagnostic capacity, as well as intensive early intervention services capacity. We cannot end this presentation without saying that through this process we have spoken to so many individuals and have the utmost admiration for all the wonderful work already being done. We have learned, first and foremost, that every single person in every sector who is already working to directly or indirectly assist families touched by ASD and intellectual disabilities wants nothing more than to provide the best possible care and support for individuals and their families. But no one sector, organization, or individual can do this alone, nor can we. We must all work together at all levels to make a difference. Finally, the Miriam Foundation would like to thank all those who made this study possible by generously and without hesitation contributing their time and wisdom as part of the data collection for this project. It has been an absolute pleasure and honor to learn from each of them. For a PDF presentation of some of the information presented in this research and a complete bibliography, should you want to review any of the over 200 publications, or to learn more about us and how you can also help in our efforts, please visit seethingsmyway.org. If you would like more information, or if you would like permission to use or reference this information in any way, please contact us at strategy@seethingsmyway.org.